Jim and Edna are both mental patients. One day Jim jumps into the swimming pool but doesn't come up for air. Quick as a flash, Edna sees her friend in trouble, so she dives in and pulls him out. Later, the hospital director calls Edna into his office and says, "Edna, I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is, we are releasing you as you are obviously sane for saving another's life. But unfortunately, the bad news is that Jim hanged himself in the bathroom."
Oh no.
Edna replies, "That's where I put him to dry." Professor X is talking to a girl, "What is your mutant power?" Girl replies, "I can guess how many pulls it takes to turn a ceiling fan off on the first try." She points up and says, 3 pulls. Professor X stands up and pulls 3 times. After the 3rd pull, the fan turns off. Professor X, "Yes, that's cool and all, but not really a superpower." Girl,
Yeah.
"I was just kidding, I can heal paraplegics." Professor X, still standing, said, "Oh my God." 2 senators who had been staunch opponents their entire careers decided they were going to patch things up between them by going deer hunting together. At one point, they come across a fence, so one senator leans his rifle up against the fence post and starts climbing over. While he's doing this, the rifle falls over and shoots him. So the other senator, worried about how this is going to look in the press, grabs him up and carries him 2 miles back to the truck, then drives like a madman to the hospital. The doctor takes one look at him and explains to the senator, "I'm sorry, he's gone. I'm afraid there's nothing we can do for him. Now you did real good getting him here as fast as you did, but you really shouldn't have field dressed him first." A Texan and his Hispanic guide go deer hunting one fine day. The Texan decides he needs to pee, and just as he lets loose, a rattlesnake rears up and bites him squarely on his manhood. After flopping around and getting the snake off of him, the Texan yells at his guide to call the ambulance. So the guide calls 911, and they tell him that he's going to have to make a tourniquet around the penis and suck as much venom as he can out, or the Texan would probably die. So the guide goes to the Texan and says, "I'm very sorry, Patroni, but they say you're going to die before they get here."
After my accident, I woke up in the hospital with a sexy nurse standing over me. She said, "You may not feel anything from the waist down." "Fair enough," I replied, feeling her breasts.
A man walks into a bar. He orders a martini, takes out the olive, puts it on the table, and drinks it. Then he orders another one, again taking out the olive and drinking the martini. And again, and again, and again. At the 10th martini, the bartender becomes curious and asks, "Why are you always taking out the olive and putting it on the side?" "Well, that is quite simple," says the man. "My wife asked me to buy a jar of olives, but the store was closed.